So we got the patch notes for the Apocalypse update a day early. They usually land on the same day as the update, but hey, we're getting them a day early. That's pretty cool. We can take a look at them now, and hey, it gives the devs 24 more hours to listen to our feedback and then probably ignore it. Anyways, let's go and see what they're planning for Apocalypse. Now, this is going to be a mid-month patch. This is going to be a rolling patch. There's no downtime maintenance. You'll just be playing your game, and then around this time, which is 3 a.m. Wednesday or 8 p.m. Tuesday, which is 8 p.m. tomorrow, not today, tomorrow. So about 36 hours from now, 36 hours from when this video comes out, or 37 hours from when this video comes out, roughly, you just close your game, reopen it, and you'll be prompted to download a patch. Now, if that sounds annoying for you, which it probably is, for me, join our Discord, the newmeta.gg/discord.gg/the-new-meta. Wow. And you can just be there in the chat, and then when the game starts being available for people, they will say so. They'll be like, yo, I'm getting the download, I'm getting the download. And then you can be prompted to close your game and reopen it rather than having to do it yourself a bunch of times and guess. But yeah, so we'll be live tomorrow night. Not tonight, because it's not tonight, it's tomorrow night. On the 1st of October, we'll be live here on YouTube. Probably tier 4ing Apocalypse. Probably. I say probably because as much as I love Apocalypse and I really want him to be a day 1 tier 4, I'm not a big fan of what they've done to Apocalypse. I don't want to spoil this here. I've already read the patch notes. We could be looking at another Doom situation, ladies and gentlemen. So, yeah. I need the devs to listen very carefully to our feedback, especially when we get the update. Now, obviously, what's on paper doesn't necessarily illustrate how good he will be in the way he performs, but hopefully, they listen. Now, all right, let's take a look here. They're keeping him as a combat type. They're keeping him as a villain. No surprise there, whatever. His uniform effect is now 70% chance to penetrate mind immunity instead of 35% chance. Okay. He has immunity to incapacitation himself. That's good. That's usually pretty good for PvP. And then he gets skill damage, bonus damage. He gets 40% skill damage and 35% bonus damage. That is up from 25% and 30, so that is a good upgrade. And then his tier 2 passive, which before gave himself 50% ignore dodge, and then the skill damage, bonus damage. It now gives him 50% ignore dodge, super armor, all defense 5%, and then 45% damage reduction. So they took his 4-star passive, they didn't change anything about it, and they just melded it with his tier 2 passive and moved some of his tier 2 passive to his uniform and bumped up the numbers. So no new effects yet besides the immunity to incapacitation, just buffed effects, okay? And now his new tier 2, his new 4-star passive called King of Mutants, which, yeah, kind of makes sense, is the debuff cleanse effect for mutant allies. Now, if you're keeping track at home, we already have, I believe, 3 mutant allies that cleanse for either all allies or mutant allies. We have Angel and Strife, which both cleanse for all allies. And then we have Exodus, who cleanses for mutant allies. So this is not a new effect. This is not even an effect that we haven't seen recently. We've actually seen it already twice this year. Interesting that they've chosen to do it again. Okay. Very cool. This is foreboding. His first skill, nothing to write home about. It just has bleed, which is, yeah, whatever. His second skill, Pharaoh's Authority, gives him iframe ignore, which is good. Hey, iframe ignore, that's one of the abilities we said he needed to get, right? He had like 4 or 5 abilities that he needed to get. He got iframe ignore, very nice. He's got snare, which is an ABL effect. He has incapacitation himself, which removes buffs from the target. It's weird that it says remove active buff from the target and incapacitation. It seems like either it removes multiple buffs, there's multiple instances of buff removal, or they just copied and pasted this and they forgot to delete it, because that doesn't really make sense. Anywho, it also has immunity. And then his third skill has Fracture, which is another ABL effect. And then it's got a barrier of 10 for 5 seconds, which is whatever. 14-second cooldown's kind of long. And then his fourth skill has Silence, which is an ABX effect. and it has a 30% heal and a 50% attack buff for 7 seconds. And then his 5th skill, Regal Power, has 5 seconds of invincibility and a frenzy buff, and it also has a 15-second cooldown. Yeah. So let's take stock of what Apocalypse doesn't have that we said he basically needed to be relevant for either PvE or PvP. On the PvE side of things, does he have accumulation? No. On the PvE side of things, does he have a one-time damage proc that you can pass to other skills? No. Okay, very nice, very cool. Does he have a guaranteed crit rate maybe? Chance to upgrade his guaranteed crit damage above 100%? No, my silence is no. My silence is a no. Does he have any of the other ABX, ABL effects like paralysis, shock? No, he doesn't. He doesn't. And I believe, I believe his old uniform actually had more effects. Let's take a look, folks. His old 4th skill, Apocalyptic Fist, had burn and silence on one skill. So he had burn and silence, and they took the burn away. That's right, folks. They took the burn away. Yeah. Okay. What about for PvP, Alex? What about for PvP? Hey, he got the debuff cleanse that he didn't need to turn him into a support character, which he shouldn't be because he's a native tier 2 world boss character. What about that? Well, he has iframe ignore, which is very cool. And he has one more effect that I'm not going to show you just yet. But where is the auto healing? Not here. Where is the immortality? Not here. Where is the penetration? Not here. The only penetration he has is this 70% chance to penetrate with mind immunity effect. I don't know what the fuck the devs think that means. I don't think that they think... I think that they understand the game better than that, right? Like, they don't actually think that 70% chance to penetrate super armor, shield, invincible, and immunity, right? That's what he needs. He needs 70% chance to penetrate, or maybe 50% chance, whatever, to penetrate super armor, barrier, super armor, shield, damage, immunity, and invincibility. He needs penetration. He does not have penetration. So he didn't have penetration on the old uniform, and they decided, you know what, we're not going to give him penetration on the new uniform. Now, why would you do that? That's just stupid. That's just dumb. That's just wrong. Let's finish the review before we go and start losing our minds. His tier 4 ability gives him attack buff for 7 seconds. It increases his character size, which is very visually thematic, which is cool. It gives him another attack buff. I hope that this one doesn't overlap with the other one and do nothing, you dumbasses. Developers. And then he gets a heal, a 15% heal for 7 seconds. 15% heal for 7 seconds is not bad. That's going to heal him for, you know, like over 100% of his HP, I believe, or 95% of his HP over 7 seconds. Yeah, 105% of his HP over 7 seconds. That's pretty cool. That's not bad. But he has to stay alive and be able to do something for that to matter. And then his artifact. His artifact is the same as Cersei's. It's actually a little bit better than Cersei's. It revives him with up to 50% of his max HP, and I assume, like Cersei, that number is going to go down by 10% if you go to a 5-star or 4-star artifact. So it's going to go down to probably like 20% or 10% when you have the lowest 3-star or 2-star or 3-star or 4-star artifact. There's no 2-star artifact, buddy. But on Cersei's, I believe, I'm going back to Cersei's now. Okay. It's worded almost identically, but it is a little bit different. So with Cersei's, it's also 300 seconds cooldown. And it says here, for Apocalypse, it says HP increases by an additional 0.5% of total instinct. So it's unclear if his max HP is going up, or if the amount of HP that he revives with, goes up. Because Cersei's says this. It says revives with, in my case, 40% because I have a 5-star artifact instead of a 6-star, and then increases by an additional 0.5 of total instinct, max 100%. So the only word missing is HP. The word HP is missing. So I'm guessing they're probably the same, which means that at tier 4, he's probably going to revive with 100% HP. He's not going to revive with 50%. Because at tier 4, he's going to have a minimum of 3,500 instinct. It's a lot closer to 4,000 now if you have like emblems and swords upgraded. But then you multiply that by 0.005, and that's another 17.5%. Okay, so he's going to revive with like 70% HP. Yeah, okay, whatever. Not 100%. So yeah, he has revive. So they gave him 2 of the 4 or 5 effects I said he needed. I said he needed iframe ignore, revive, or immortality. He needed penetration and whatever. And they gave him 2 of those effects. They are changing certain patterns in World Boss Proxima and Corvus. And they are changing the name of the Hulkbuster uniform from Thorbuster to Celestial Hulkbuster. So that's now you have all the information of everything that's in the patch. Now let's go back, because this is what is this, guys? This is a gigantic disaster. That's right. They named his tier 4 skill after the patch for Apocalypse. They named his tier 4 skill after the balancing, because it's a gigantic disaster. Why didn't you give him the effects that he needed? Well, let's take a look here. What did they do for Scarlet Witch a few months ago? Because Alex, if you take a look here, who are we comparing Apocalypse to? Apocalypse is a world boss. Okay, he's a world boss. And he's a world boss in the same way that Scarlet Witch is a world boss, in the same way that Cable is a world boss, and in the same way that Quicksilver is a world boss, in the same way that Thanos is a world boss. Let's see what they did to Thanos when they gave Thanos his latest uniform. Oh, let's take a look here. What's this? Increases damage dealt to debuff removal characters by 80%. He's got skill damage bonus damage. He's got another effect. He's got 50% all defense instead of fucking 5%. He's got increased damage to heroes. He's got a heal, a 20% heal that can activate every 2 seconds. Okay, wow, that's pretty good. What else does he have on his uniform? He has 5% additional pierce, 55% damage reduction, and when his HP is below 30%, he has another 70% heal. Huh, what about iframe ignore, Alex? Does he have that? You bet he's got iframe ignore, Slick. Of course he has iframe ignore. And look at that. 80%, 80% chance to penetrate. Super armor, barrier, shield, all damage immune, and invincible. Yeah. Okay, this is how you make, say it with me now, a PvP character. And on top of all that, they upgraded his artifact. Yeah. Okay. Well, what about Cable, Alex? Oh, they made Cable, Cable was last year, by the way. Cable was a year ago. They made Cable a year ago. And what did they do for Cable? Well, they made him a PvE god. Guaranteed crit rate, skill damage, bonus damage, all this healing, all this, buffs, 70% attack buff for 1 hit. And even Cable, who is a PvE character, not for PvP. No revive, no immortality, no iframe ignore. They gave him penetration. Look at this, 85% chance, 85 to penetrate barrier, immune, and invincible. So what does Apocalypse get? Again, maybe I'm misunderstanding, maybe I'm misremembering. This is a 5-year-old uniform. I haven't played with Apocalypse in like 5 years, or like 4.5 years. So maybe I'm misremembering, and maybe 70% chance to penetrate with mind immunity means that he penetrates everybody's everything. He penetrates super armor, he penetrates invincibility, immunity, he penetrates shield, barrier. Maybe that's what it means. I don't think that's what it means. I think that this means he only penetrates the handful of useless characters that have mind immunity. You're probably wondering to yourself, who the fuck has mind immunity? Well, I'm pretty sure Emma Frost has mind immunity. You can see there she has a 100% chance to become immune to mind damage. Look at the hilarity of this. Look at the hilarity of this. Apocalypse is a native tier 2 world boss villain and one of the top mutant villains, and he has no penetration. Emma Frost is a uniform from 2021 or 2022, so years old. It's years old now, and she has 80%. 80% chance to penetrate. Super armor, shield, all damage immune, invincible. This is what Apocalypse needs. Take everything here. Take this whole thing here. By the way, Apocalypse deals mind damage. You can see there, mind damage. You can't see my mouse. Mind damage. So he's an elemental damage character. Mind damage. He needs this effect exactly. Mind of a queen, mind of a king. Apocalypse. Copy this effect and paste it to Apocalypse. On top of everything that he has, he needs base penetration. What kind of stupid game are we playing here where you're giving a character half of the stuff he needs and not the other half? Like, this almost feels like they want to make they're already like, you know what? We're going to release another uniform for Apocalypse in a couple of years. So we're going to make this one, like, not very good. Like, if that's what it feels like. It feels like they're already non-committal. You know, it's actually crazy. I'm actually furious. We're going to have to wait and see. But it's really insane how well they made Cable last year, how well they made Scarlet Witch this year, and they couldn't get Apocalypse right. Yes, they screwed up on Quicksilver, so technically their win rate is not 100%. But if you take all of the recent bosses that got tier 4, all of the world bosses that recently got tier 4, they're at a 60% win rate. Because if you take Cable, Scarlet Witch, and Thanos, those were all hits. Those were all like mega smashes. And then they screwed up on Ebony and Quicksilver. Ebony and Quicksilver this year, kind of shit. And a lot of people forget that Quicksilver was a world boss. But yeah, kind of shit. But even Quicksilver, I'm pretty sure, look at this. Even Quicksilver has 70% chance to penetrate. Super armor, barrier, immune, invincible. And he has 30% all defense. Not fucking 5%. What's 5% all defense? That's nothing. Just take it out. Add a 0 or take it out. What are you doing? What are you guys doing? Genuinely, who is balancing? The person... Listen. Oh, Chogio. The person who's balancing these uniforms should be fired. You are terrible at your job, and the community really does not like you. They don't know you as a person, but they don't like your work because it's bad. You are bad at your job. I don't know if it's an AI, like if ChatGPT is balancing this shit. I don't know what's going on in Netmarble, man. This is terrible. This is just garbage. Don't like, guys, come on. Don't make me get so salty about the game now. It's so annoying. Like, just make the character properly, okay? We already had to sit through one of your absolute diaper fests, okay? We already had to sit through you guys absolutely vomiting and shitting the bed everywhere. Even this guy gets 55% penetration. 55 with 50% all defense. What are you guys doing? Genuinely, what the hell are you guys doing? This is an embarrassment. Seriously. This game is not going to last with you guys dragging your feet and making these shit tier upgrades. People waited years for this. People waited years for this. You better make it worth their weight. You know? It's like I'm getting real pissed off. So yeah, listen. Maybe I'll do some testing and I'll try to figure this out. I'm like 95% sure that this effect right here is shit. If they meant to say that he has 70% chance to penetrate, super armor, invincible, immunity, shield, and mind, okay, fine. That's fine. If that's the case, like there's not a lot they have to change here, guys. I'm angry, but there's really not a lot they have to change. They just have to give him penetration, and then we can just wait and see. Literally, the only thing he's missing right now is penetration. He might need more healing. He might need a heal on his second skill instead of his fourth skill. Maybe. We'll have to see. But right now, he really just needs the penetration. And if anyone talks about a mighty or brilliant destruction, I will put my foot so far up your ass. They'll call me Jim Henson. I swear to God. We got to retire that CTP because there's way too many clowns who think Oh, the character doesn't need penetration. Just give them a... That's what the CTP of destruction is for. Listen. That's what the spatula is for. Get back in there. Put the fries in the bag, bro. Okay? Put the fries in the bag. Anyways. I don't want to get mad, but this is pissing me off. So, yeah. We'll see. We'll have to wait and see. Are we looking at Doom Are we looking at Doom Part 2? Or are they actually going to make a good... they're going to do a good job this time? I don't know. But, yeah. It is what it is, in a way. Hit me with the comments down below. Let me know what you think. Thanks so much for watching. Smash the like button if you enjoy the content. Yeah, I'm yawning through this shit because it's ass. And I'll see you in the next one. Take care.